We get the ball. We go 3 and out. They run up play, and then welcome to My God a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I review Georgia's 24-21 loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide. We talk about our experiences on Saturday and what stood out to us during the game. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress.
Just as we predicted.
Oh, man. Okay, so it is kind of funny because I was looking at that because that's usually the joke that we open with. Um, dude, we were actually pretty close. You had what, 28-25?
Yeah, I had us basically by a field goal, which had we
I had
gotten
us I had us 31-24, which I will say. So I hit Alabama's score exactly.
nailed it.
And then if we don't drop a touchdown, I mean, things wouldn't have happened this way, but let's say Taylor catches the pass, scores, and then we kick a field goal. Score would have been 31
Mm-hmm.
24. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we wouldn't have. They may have scored again. But anyways, we weren't too far off, I guess is my point. Like, it wasn't like we were thinking we were going to like totally dominate or anything. The game felt it would be a tight
Yeah,
game. It was just came up short. It's frustrating,
it
I think,
was.
especially because it was against them.
Yep, it's just the opponent. Like if you insert that game on any other opponent, and it doesn't feel as terrible, but maybe it does. I don't know.
Well, not in today's college football, right? Because like we said it, we've said it. Like in the grand scheme of things, like one loss doesn't matter. Last year we lost 2 regular season games and still won the SEC, and we're number 2 in the playoff seeding. So like, not the end of the world, but it's just the narratives that go along with it, and that they ended yet another one of our streaks is just
Yeah, that's the other
it's just
thing.
like
Is like it had to be them that ended the streak, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It was suboptimal on an otherwise amazing weekend uh
yeah.
of friendery.
The weekend was amazing. The weekend was amazing. Um, Dude, we saw so
Maybe
many
we should
people.
yeah, maybe we should just start there and kick it off that way.
All right, so I was coming in hot for Coach Trill's party Friday night. So uh, thank you again to Coach and Shelby for having us out. Um, a fine evening Friday night. Really started the weekend off with a bang, honestly.
Yeah, that was great. The all the restaurant that we were at, the food and everybody with their cocktails and stuff, like um that was super fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Congratulations to the happy couple.
100%, 100%. Um, and then over to Honda's famous bed and breakfast.
I was able to convince you to make the drive over, which I'm curious. I never asked you
Mm.
this, but how did you net out on that? Were you glad that we did or?
I think considering how Saturday morning went and that we did the on-campus pregame run, I think it did work out for the best.
Yes,
Yeah. So
I
what
agree.
we got over there Friday night, caught the very end of the Florida State Virginia game, which
Crazy,
we
crazy.
thought was like maybe a good sign for us on Saturday, not to be. Um, Hung out with my parents a bit, and then yeah, Saturday morning over on the campus, did with some more omens during the
We had
pregame
everything
run.
going our way.
I mean, we're running. I'll tell my version of like you're like Jim. Did we just pass Scott Sinclair? Pretty sure that was Scott Sinclair. And I was like, I mean, he was a bald man, like running around, looked kind of like him. And then what? We run into him again. You're like, Coach, looked at us. Coach Sinclair confirmed
Yes, and then we ran into him again.
again. Yeah, apparently, if you go for a jog on campus on game day, in the general route we did, you can run into Scott Sinclair like 3 times.
Yeah, dude, he was doing a walkabout. He was doing a walkabout the stadium, much in the same way that we did. Although then we decided to make it a we decided to make it I was like, hey, we're not going to hit quite 3 miles on the route that I was planning to go, and so I was like, hey, why don't we just go and run and check out Logan's tailgate, and we could just do the Vagabond. We just did the Vagabond tailgate 5K.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. It got us a little rest. Able to hydrate. Thanks, Logan. Um,
Yes.
uh, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a great pregame run. Um, yeah, and then we went back to Ponda's famous bed and breakfast. And
Well,
we brought home the breakfast.
whew. And okay, so not only did you get to experience the country cupboard again, and then you got to
Mm.
introduce me to an item that I had never had. Also, I was saying it was called something else. We learned like all the lore of
Oh
country
yeah,
cupboard
Carol's Country Cupboard.
now. Yes, so and it is still owned by the same family of what I knew as Two Cousins Cafe. So it was pretty funny. So same thing. Um, fantastic. Not a sponsor yet, but got all the lore of Country Cupboard, where it came from, about the building it's in, and the food. Holy moly! Highly recommend the what is it? The TEC.
Yes, the TEC, the tenderloin egg and cheese.
Whew, phenomenal. It's like a
Absolute
fried.
unit of a biscuit.
It's like a fried pork chop on a biscuit.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Oh man, that was such a great start to the day. Such a great start to the day.
Yeah, man. Then my we kind of went over in parts over onto the campus. My sister, drove us over there. Then my parents met up with us later on campus for tailgating at two tailgates, which were again phenomenal, outstanding. Thank you as always, Scott, Greg, Zach, Rodeo, um, Jason over at his spot. Appreciate everyone for hosting us. Heck of a day.
Yeah,
And we got
Zach
to
and
go.
DT, all those guys doing the setup.
Yeah, man. And then got hit a little special collections. Saw a friend of the show, Tim Riley, and
That's right. Yeah.
brother Mark as well. So it was a good time.
Man, it was the boys were back in town. I feel like we saw just about everyone. Shout out to Daniel Hicks, Pastor Daniel. I did not see him. I actually texted him on Sunday that I blamed him for the loss because we didn't actually meet up because he was in the high dollar seats and went into the stadium much earlier than he normally does. And I didn't get a chance to see him before going to the game. That is the first game that I've been on campus and not run into him somewhere.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, dude. It was incredible. Anytime you have like a smoked whole hog and live music at the tailgate, it's a good day.
I mean, dude, the live music was not only was it like cool, it wasn't just like some dude just playing a guitar, but like he was playing medleys
Yeah,
and cover songs that just did not didn't think that they would go together, but they did.
yeah, yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing, dude. We like met people. We met people. Had to meet people that we had met like online, but so got to meet some new people. As promised, we saw Chris from SEC Unfiltered, as we discussed preseason. He was there. It was a good time.
That was great. I actually introduced him into he was perusing the bourbon and I made a recommendation for the 107. Not many tailgates you go to have 107, Weller 107 on the offering.
That's true.
And so I pointed him in the right direction there and he said later on he's like this is fantastic and I said, I know.
uh,
Saw Chris Phillips, saw Daily Joy, SEC Pretty herself was in the house too.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, man, it was a great day. We eventually were able to connect up with Coach as well, and we had the building bonus in person from Winbred Building. Do we saw
Hunter Jones was in town.
got to see Hunt the Jones at the tailgate. Dude, it was incredible. It was incredible. Oh, we got a Matt Key like dating, like meeting his wife origin story, which was incredible. Like, it was, it
So
was awesome,
funny.
man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
That
like such a good day, such a good day.
Yeah, and the food was fantastic at every place. Shout out Hug Dog. The Garrett gave me she just handed me. She's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I don't know." She's I got you. And she handed me a plate of food, and it was amazing. And the hog was great. Mac and cheese was great. All the food, all the food and the pageantry. Uh, yeah, all the things that you look for in an experience on game day, you had it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I don't know. That was
But then there
probably
was the game.
then there was the game. There was the game, which although I gotta say again, shout out to my mom because they all went to the game before you and I did. We hung back a little bit. We get in, we walk in the stadium, we get, you know, I don't know, 50 feet in or whatever. And I was like, oh, the wristbands. And so we go back and the wristbands were gone. The wristbands are gone. But shout out, my mom had snagged some extra for us.
Mm. Man, she
So
had that was like mom mode engage.
yeah, seriously, I'm gonna get wristbands so they make sure they have some. It was incredible. Um, so yeah, well, we had No Sean calling the dogs. Everything's ready
That
to
was
go.
cool to see.
Pre-game had the flyover. We were ready to go, and then kind of quickly. Oh, yeah. Well, first we go 3-and-out, right?
Yeah.
So we get the ball, we go 3-and-out. They run up play, and then
Is that gonna be a thing? Is that gonna be a thing on the soundboard now?
I think it probably shouldn't because I think I don't. Yeah, probably not. But hope like one. I don't know. Everyone I feel like is probably gonna yell at us.
Well, you know what? Now I'm wondering, like, maybe we should tell the punt and pass guys. Maybe we should tell Drew Butler to have that for his second down. Sorry, Drew, you got to change your second down music.
That's funny. Oh, that's good.
Because it literally
Uh,
was second down every single time. Like
yeah,
every single time they had second down. No matter if it was like second and one, no matter if it was like second and 19, that was the music.
I've seen dude. So like I'm sorry because I'm like perpetuating it by doing it on the soundboard. Like I can't get the sound out of my head. I don't know about you. Like it keeps just like popping into my head. I
Yeah.
mean, it's Monday. It's still happening to me.
I mean, not to like belittle what happened in World War One, because all right, so if you didn't know that sound is from a movie that is based on World War One.
Yeah,
It's a very dire movie, as the sound probably indicates. The scenes where that sound shows up is are pretty intense. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. Netflix, All Quiet on the Western Front. Um, but yeah, dude, I have PTSD.
I know.
Much like much like people that were in that war, like we've been through the same kind of thing. Like we just got bombarded with that sound over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm totally wondering if it's gonna be like a thing now. Like, is that the new second down music, or is it only a night game thing, or was it just for that game? I feel like it's probably not just for that game, but like,
I
you
was a little disappointed that SEC Shorts didn't tackle that topic on
know,
our game. Like I
it's
feel like
funny.
that they had a golden opportunity and just
Mm,
totally sidestepped it.
yeah, I feel like that's a fair
Have you seen the
criticism.
video?
I saw that it was out. I didn't. I was like, I don't think I want to watch this, so I
You
didn't
didn't
even
have the
watch it.
stomach for it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll watch it
It,
eventually, but I haven't watched it yet. Like, is it funny at least?
it was pretty funny.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely one of those like if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at kind of thing. So I'll watch it. I'll watch it tomorrow.
So knowing that that guy was a Bama fan, like I was not surprised that
Mm,
how it transpired, but at least he had the self-deprecating way to end it the way that he ended it.
okay.
Or
Okay.
I guess they ended it.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, we got to like stop spotting teams 14 points. And that's um
I mean, I guess that's a good segue into the game itself. Um, yeah, man. I don't know. We've entered show me territory. I think you kind of coined that like
yeah.
after the game. Like from this point forward, like I'm just I need someone to step up and show me that they want this because right now just like we're just a really good team. We're a really good team, and we may sneak into the playoff, but I haven't even looked at the revised stats or anything like that. But like you know the net yards per play numbers that define an elite team, we were already like well off that mark,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine we got much better. Probably stayed a little flat if I'm if I can recall. Um, Maybe even got a little worse. Our red zone numbers are just atrocious. Um, our defensive numbers, I mean, we had less pressures on their quarterback than Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah. Um, so I did. I already pulled our stats for the next game, so I'll go ahead and tell you. Our net yards per play on the season is 0.87. So
That is
not elite.
atrociously bad for
Yeah.
Kirby Smart's. That's it. That is by far the worst in the Kirby Smart era.
Yeah.
And
Um,
normally you'd think that like one side of the ball would like help the other, but like we're both not great.
100%. That's the thing is like that's the thing that like Jeff Dantzler always talks about is complementary football. And like
Hmm.
that is exactly what we are not doing. It's like whenever we do one good thing on one side, it's like we can't follow through on the other end. Like case in point, we go 3 and out, we punt, they just march down the field. Um then we have to punt again. They go down and score again. Then we score with the shot play. We get the deep ball to Colby Young, get the shot play, score, and then we finally get him. Then we finally get a stop. Right, we finally stop him. We get him to punt, and then we fumble and turn it over. It's like because like at that point that could have been like a huge turning point. Um, and the offense it looked like it had started to kind of come alive, and then I mean that fumble, I mean those 3 points right there. I mean, there's so many like one thing, two thing here throughout the game, whatever point to specific plays, but we lost by three, and they got a field goal off the fumble. It was the only turnover of the game. I mean, you could argue that's the difference in the game right there.
Yeah, I mean we're just as with every game that we play against these guys, you're a couple of plays away from being we're a couple of plays away, like six different plays away from having a significantly better record against these guys.
Yeah. There's
I
so
mean,
many like
across the entire like rivalry, but in this
yeah,
game specifically, you know, three or four plays away from it being a much different story. Um, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just glad that there wasn't like any super egregious referee situations that
yeah.
came into play. Um, it was it was an aggressive game all around. And I'm glad that there wasn't a ton of nitpickiness, if you will,
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I've seen
or
some.
egregious missed calls, like just flat out missed calls,
Yeah, there's nothing like the drop catch in the SEC championship a couple years ago. You know,
or
um,
the offsides that shouldn't have been called.
yeah, or Tyler Simmons was onside. Like all there was nothing that I recall that was along those lines. So yeah, I'm with you. And even I mean, I benefited, I guess, but from the post play targeting, like from the review, which I mean, I've watched it. Like in the stadium, I was kind of like, really? Like, I mean, I'll take it. I'll always accept stuff like that. But like
Right.
seeing it, I mean, I get like yes, by the letter of the rule that was targeting, but I don't know, kind of in the scrum like that was interesting. But whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, at least there was that. But I think like we had after the Tennessee game, we talked a little bit about like is there should we be concerned about the defense? And I'm concerned about the defense.
Yeah, I'm real concerned about the defense. Our inability to get push in times of dire need. I mean, they converted more third downs than any other team in the history of Sanford Stadium.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
it's wild.
the clip that they were able to convert third downs was embarrassing. Like just flat out embarrassing.
13,
Um,
13 of 19 on third downs.
yeah, dude, like that's crazy.
Which I mean, and that's the thing is, I mean they ran 77 plays in this game, which is just insane. The first
They
quarter,
converted they converted third downs better than Gunnar Stockton completed passes.
wow, yeah, yeah. I mean they had the ball for like 12 minutes in the first quarter, I think.
Yeah, I mean this game was definitely a game of two halves. I mean, clearly we did our what we normally do, and I think the broadcast was even talking about it that like Kirby Smart is the king of adjustments in the second half. You know, we completely shut them out in the second half. Now, I will throw a caveat out there about that. If you haven't watched the second half, you know, Bama scored and they must have been feeling pretty good about themselves because they came out at halftime. And I think that for probably 12 minutes of game time, Ty Simpson threw one pass that was beyond the line of scrimmage. I think he
Mm,
really only threw two passes, period. One of them was a little swing pass out wide to um, Williams or Holden. I can't remember who it was, but I mean, it didn't really do much. But and then another the one like obvious downfield passing opportunity was when we had them at third and long, where we got the stop, and it was an incomplete pass. Um, if you fast forward it to about 2 minutes left, it was only with 2 minutes left in the third quarter did he throw a third pass. So, like,
mm,
they got really conservative. And if you look at some of the plays that they ran, like we got tackles for loss, we got stops, like they got cute. Like as you like to say, Jim, they got cute
mm.
on some plays and they got conservative, in my opinion. And I think that if they had, not taken their foot off the gas, which is what, the common phrase is like they took their foot off the gas, I feel like. Um, and I think that if they'd have just continued to do what Ty Simpson was doing in the first half, where they were just picking us apart in the middle of the field, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I will say they're like pretty much the whole game. Like they really played like a ball control style. Like that was what was shocking to me was the fact that they were able to beat us the way they did. Like their offense against our defense. Like I was expecting them to be taking shot plays like what Tennessee does because that's what they did to us last year. Like last year, Ryan Williams like bailed them out with these crazy circus catches and runs, and that didn't happen at all. I mean, he did get wide open the one time, and then I mean, they had a touchdown drop as well. I mean, his that was right in his bread basket. The drop that he had that should have been a touchdown. They ended up scoring anyway, so it didn't really matter. But like the fact that they just played ball control and like bullied us, like that's what we do. Like that looked like what Alabama and Saban did, not what
hmm
DeBoer did last year. That's what was so surprising to me is like, and I mean, like, hats off to them. They had a bye week. They spent 2 weeks preparing and had that game plan, and it worked. And even though I mean, I know we held them scoreless in the second half, but they still dominated the time of possession. So they had the ball 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes to 6.5 minutes in the third quarter, basically both. So third and fourth quarter, they didn't score, but they played keep away, and they kept the ball still for over half of both of those quarters. I think they kind of, I mean, like you're saying, I mean, they kind of sat on it, and it ultimately it worked because we couldn't capitalize
it
on the
shouldn't have
opportunities
worked, but
it shouldn't have, it should not have. And like I know you like to look at the like the ESPN win expectancy percentage, right? Like throughout the game or whatever. And I mean, like right there, end of third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter, it had gone like our way. Like Georgia's should win this game. That's right around when we. I mean that was the drive that resulted in the opted not to kick on fourth down, went for it. Cash Jones gets tackled. That moment right there, we score. They were expecting us to win. The win probability says Georgia's going to win this game right there. When we get
well, I
down to
mean,
first and 10 at their 17, we should win the game.
John shared the Bill Connolly like post game win percentage like numbers.
Yeah,
Alabama had a 19% chance of winning this game in the post in Bill Connolly's numbers there, which I was shocked by. Um,
me too. I still am. It felt like if we, it's such a weird game because like I like it's like we should have won, but it also sitting there felt like we were getting dominated. So, but it felt like man, like we should have found a way, and had we found a way, it would have felt like we stole it. But according to his metrics, that's not really the case. It's interesting.
right. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I have a feeling that those metrics had to have just overwhelmingly factored in the running plays. Like we ran the ball down their throat. Like, I always like to throw out the if I'd have told you this, like what would you have said about the game? If you had told me before the game that the University of Georgia was going to have over 200 yards rushing against the University of Alabama, I would have told you that we were absolutely going to destroy them.
Yeah, I mean that was
Like,
one of the things we talked about in the pregame is like usually the team that wins the ground game wins this game.
correct.
Yeah,
227 yards on 33 rushing attempts. We averaged 7 yards a carry. I mean, it's no wonder Gunnar Stockton only attempted 20 passes because number one, we didn't have enough opportunities, but number two, you know, Chauncey Bowens established himself as running back number one in this game for
100%, 100%.
from my perspective. Um, I think that Josh McCray is going to be a close number two. I think that he should be a third down back. I don't know. I know that we've got Cash Jones in there on our third downs apparently. Um, Josh McCray fights for those close yards. Like I said, if having watched what Josh McCray has done on goal line situations in the last two games, when you need 1 yard, I'm 100% like I'm handing the ball off to Josh McCray and I'm daring the defense to stop it because I haven't seen anybody stop it when he's needed, you know, goal to go, 1 yard to go kind of situations where I mean, it took like he was fighting off two guys to get his touchdown.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Okay, so what you were saying there is reminding me of, and I feel like we should just kind of talk about the whole situation. Early fourth quarter, we get down to their 17. We end up with third and I don't remember what it was. It was like third and 5 or something like that. Where Gunner needs to get, or we need to get to their 7 yard line, and
Hmm.
Gunner runs. So a couple of things here. So first off, I want to go back to when McCray scored his touchdown because this I am
Hmm.
gonna I don't want this to sound like I'm blaming the officials on anything, but I have a point here. It's just this is just like, of course, this kind of thing happens. So McRae runs at the middle, and we go tempo. This is on the touchdown. So when we scored to get to 21 points that drive, so McRae runs up the middle and like dives in the end zone. And they rule him down, and then we go tempo and we run him up the middle again, and he walks into the end zone. But the play never happened. They blew it dead because they needed to review to see if McRae had gotten in on the play before. And so they
Hmm.
review. So then it's like, oh my gosh, like why are we reviewing? We already scored. This is frustrating, right? So then they review and they confirm the call in the field. He was down. So they run another play and he scores right then. So it didn't really matter, but it was kind of like why are we reviewing this? He didn't get in. We had already scored. That's kind of frustrating. So now you fast forward and like the opposite happens. So then Gunner, takes he run design run, which I didn't realize until I told you right as we hopped on. I was finishing my rewatch of the game. Honestly, like our right tackle was pulling and like kind of ran into Gaston and tripped a little bit. I mean, Gunner, if that doesn't happen, I think Gunner scores in that play, by the way, on third down. I think he walks into the end zone to go left. He has to cut in because this one guy has missed. Dude, it was close, man. Like he had to get to the 7. The ball was at the 6.5 when he hit the ground. They never showed a side replay because we ran hurry up and went so fast. So I don't know what a replay would have said. But man, like feels like they've been taking a look at all these first down marks all night long. I have to wonder if we didn't go hurry up and we waited 2 more seconds, would they have buzzed
I
buzz
wonder,
for review?
I wonder if they didn't buzz because of what happened on the Josh McCray touchdown because they realized that they stopped a play that ended up being a scoring opportunity for Georgia.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I get
A
that.
damned if you do and a damned if you don't
That's true.
situation for
Yeah,
the refereeing crew. But I mean, that
yeah.
was a pretty important spot. I think I don't know. People are gonna hate this, but I think he was down
He may
on
have
the
been. That's the saying. I feel like I never really saw the good side angle, so
yeah.
he very
I
well
feel
could have.
like the ball may have been extended and it might have
Yeah,
been close, but I mean, for me, it looked like his knee had to have gone down, but it's just based on his body physics.
right, right.
But I mean, so here's my deal with that. And this is what I've heard most people talk about is that okay, if you're going to go into a situation where it's third down and 5, and Kirby Smart said that they were going to run a fourth down, they were going to go for it on fourth down if they got any yards whatsoever, I think is what he said, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I know he said they were going to go for it on fourth down. But yeah,
So my issue with that decision is that the personnel grouping that we chose to run with in that sequence was not ready for the sequence.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and even if they were ready, like it was Kirby said that if Juan Gaston, carries his block, Cash walks into the end zone or it was a touchdown. Like he said that.
yeah.
My thing is that what if Chauncey Bowens is out there? Does that stiff arm that he throws to the defender, does that get better? What if Josh McCray's out there? Is he able to fight past that and move on? We won't ever know. But both of those guys were the quote unquote hot hand, right?
Hmm.
Nate Frazier didn't perform and never saw the field again after his fumble, which I feel like is something that we should also talk through.
Yeah,
Um, we didn't have our number one and number two guys, and our 100-yard running back on the play for two of the most important plays of the game.
yeah.
That's on the coaches, in my opinion.
Well, then they did it
Like
again. They did it again later. Like the last time we had the ball on offense, we had like 3rd and 9, and we threw like a lateral to Cash Jones, 3rd and 9, and lost yardage. Like, not to nitpick on like certain play calls or whatever, but I mean, yeah,
our last series was awful. Everything about the last time that we had the ball was not good.
the only good thing was
Because we
the
had, I mean, okay, so that play was awful, right? Like that, not getting any points there or a
yeah.
first down was terrible. But we
I
still
would
had almost the entire quarter to figure it out.
I actually, yeah, and I want to call out something that you said to me in the stadium. When we went, because I mean, I'm a conservative person when it calls to calling things. Like I would have kicked a field goal, just saying that, but I'm not saying that that's like the right thing, but that's how I am. I take the points. But I remember you when we went for it on 4th down and we got stopped. You said, this will be a paraphrase. I don't remember exactly what it said, but you were like, Kirby must feel like Bama's offense is done. Like they've got nothing left if he's going for it on 4th down there. Like he must be confident that they're not going to score again. So, which I don't know. I still feel like that even would mean like, dude, kick the field goal, but whatever.
Yeah,
um,
isn't there like a play card that like tells you what to do?
yeah,
I,
it probably says go for it. I don't like those. I don't like the analytics.
I mean, I mean, dude, like Gunnar Stockton, like he runs the ball. Like, how many times did we last season did we run Gunnar Stockton up to the line of scrimmage and just sneak the ball across for 1 yard? How many times did we do that last year? That's in our playbook. Quarterback
It's
sneak is
true.
in our playbook. Gunnar
Yeah,
Stockton is a running quarterback. He's not a small dude.
yeah, it's true.
I just like asking Cash Jones to run 6 yards to gain one just seems insane to me. I will never in the life of me in the SEC and a team like Georgia that recruits 4 and 5 star players left and right, why we feel the need to play like we're, Lincoln Riley on the West Coast or whatever, where we're just constantly running things out of the shotgun or whatever. That's the other thing that I have with this game. How many we talked about this, like, and even in some of the other reviews that I listen to, what sets up what sets up the pass, Jim? The run.
The run.
If you've got the run game going,
Yeah,
what do you run? What do you go to get the passing game going? You go to play action. How
yeah,
much play action did we run in this game at all?
yeah. I don't not
I
a
don't
lot.
recall seeing one true play action play. It was all like this like pretend zone thing. And I guess that's a play action, but not like a true
Yeah,
like let's get under center, run a drop back and run play action. Like what's those plays have been in Bobo's arsenal for years. I think back to the flea flickers that we've run under Bobo. I think back to um, David Green's ball fakes. You know what I mean? Like
hmm.
where are all those play action plays?
Well, I
And I
mean,
feel like that we were primed for that because we were doing so well with the running game.
and let's look at the others. Let's look at the other team and what they did to us on their last meaningful play of the game, where they totally they totally tricked us, and made it look like everything was going left. Then quarterback with a run, quarterback rolls out to the right. Dude was wide open. Um,
I mean,
and
he
like
had
to your point
multiple
too, like
options.
yeah, he could have thrown it deep to the tight end. They didn't need to because all they needed was a yard. Um, but I don't know. That's again, like you said, it was coaching, and I mean, I feel like the same thing, and I feel like it's both sides of the ball. You know, they had 2 weeks to prepare. We had 2 weeks to prepare. The way that game started, who looked more ready? You
Yeah,
know, I
the other
mean,
guys.
yeah. So I don't. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, and I know we're focusing on the missed opportunities on the offense because that's we needed more points. Um, but the defense really. I mean, I know they held them they held them scoreless in the second half, and that's great. But just the way the game started, and I know the offense didn't help with the 3-and-out to start the game, but like, holy moly, like they're just gashing us. Almost had an interception on the first drive, right? KG Bolden, and it would have been a tough catch, but he, possible he could have made that catch, get off the field. And then there's just so many times where guys were just wide open down the field on those third down conversions.
Yeah,
Like
I
especially
mean,
the one like the U point. I think was the one that we were discussing on Twitter a little bit ago, where our defense looked totally confused, and you were like, "Call timeout, call timeout." I think that was the first drive of the game. There was like a 3rd and 11 or something like that, and
yeah, it was a huge it was a huge like issue on the defense. Like they very clearly, I don't know, maybe they were making, I don't know, sometimes they have the like their hand signals and all that kind of stuff. I
yeah,
mean, it looked like everybody was flapping around bird, bird. I don't know, maybe that was something, I don't know. Like, but they look confused as heck. And if you look at the snap, two of our defensive linemen run right into each other. Like
yeah,
to me, it looked like everything was confusing, and I think that they should have called a timeout. And in retrospect, I feel like that there are a couple of situations like that, but Kirby doesn't like to call timeouts when he doesn't have to. And I feel like that sometimes he's okay with his guys making mistakes on situations like that. Whereas, I mean, Alabama called a timeout and they didn't need to on some of those situations too, where I was like, oh, why are they calling a timeout?
yeah.
But
They burned through their timeouts fast in the first half.
right, exactly. And I remember in the when we were rewatching it in the first half, like I was like, "Why are they calling a timeout?" And you're like, "Ah, you can't use it if you don't use if you use it, you lose it."
I gotta say,
Um,
the Sunday morning rewatch with Panda's Famous Breakfast was kind of amazing. Other than like what we were watching wasn't great, but again, the company, the food, fantastic.
Agreed. Thank you so much to Lou and Panda. You guys are amazing hosts as always. I did not want to wake up from the cave downstairs. It is such a great place to sleep. Um, yeah,
Uh,
no. Bacon and eggs and strudel. Are you kidding me? Like that. That's amazing.
it was amazing. Sorry, I went off the rails.
Um,
Sorry.
yeah. Um, and the running. That that'll
Okay,
never that'll never not be funny.
off the rails side break again. I woke up like in the middle of the night at like 3:30 or something, and like I looked at my phone and I had a text from you at like 1:30 that just did bah, bah, bah.
It's funny.
Okay, sorry.
All
Sorry,
right,
let's go back to
so
the game.
yeah, so defense super disappointing. What I will say is I feel like they, as awful as I feel the defense was, they had to work super hard to get what they got.
Hmm.
Like we made them absolutely have to work for it. I mean, they only averaged 3.1 yards per rush, even though it felt like they were bombs away. They were only 7.2 yards per pass. We were 6.5, like fairly even. They obviously had more opportunities because they converted so many dang third downs that is truly the difference in the game. Like the
Yeah.
third down efficiency is was awful for us. And I don't think we converted a single first down until almost the fourth quarter, I want to say. They showed a stat during the third quarter, and it was like we were 0 for 4 on third down. So like we didn't even get to third down, um, but a handful of times before that point.
Yeah, we were.
Like
I mean,
for
for
us,
the
the
game,
offense,
we're two of
yeah,
eight, 2 of 8 on third down for the game.
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
we just we did not do well at all. Um, The what I will say is that we didn't allow Williams to beat us.
Mm,
Um, Horton, which I felt like he was always popping up right when they needed a play, right? He only
yeah.
had 65 yards receiving. So like there wasn't like an overwhelming producer on that side of the ball. There was just so many of them. They just had so many guys catching balls all over the field because they were all running around free in the secondary. So not no one player dominated us. So we kind of shut down their key players. That Jeremy Bernard guy seemed like he was making plays, but he wasn't like it wasn't like a dagger in our heart like Ryan really was last year.
Yeah.
Um, Jam Miller, like I think actually was a big part of their offense. Like he was just grinding out stuff, and he had 16 carries for 46 yards. Like Buddy was just getting absolutely destroyed. And I mean, ultimately, we stopped the run. Like we stopped the run.
Yeah. I mean, they dinked and dunked their way to a win over Georgia, which is wild to me.
Right.
I'm shocked that game plan worked. I mean, it shows what I know, but like, I didn't I didn't think you could do that against our defense, and I was proven wrong.
Yeah. No. You turn the ball over inside which that's another like positive on the defensive side. Like when we fumbled the ball, I was like, oh, the game's over. But when they held them to a field goal, like, bro,
Yeah, that was big.
that
That
was
was a big moment,
huge. That
and
was
that
huge.
yeah, and that's the kind of thing that could be you would hope could be like a turning point moment. And honestly, like it looked like it was right because then we go down and score after
Hmm.
that, and then so this is my I guess my biggest gripe with the defense is the 2 minute drill touchdown right before the half. Like because we talked about that middle eight there, and I looked at you and I looked at my dad. Maybe this is like, don't say such things, Jim. But I was like, oh my gosh, if we can get to the half 17-14 after the way this half has gone, like that's a monumental victory, you know?
Hmm.
And then they just, I mean, they marched down the field and to score. They didn't even need all the time. They had what like 2.5 minutes. I think it took them two. Um,
Yeah,
that
when
that
they
was
needed a
brutal.
play, they got it.
Yeah, yeah, that was brutal. And that one there was like a third and pretty long conversion to Williams, I believe, where he was just like he just sat down in the middle of our zone and there was nobody near him.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so that was frustrating. I think I don't know. I guess that was kind of the moment for me that was honestly the most frustrating with the defense was that drive.
I'm trying to think. I know the Jeremy Bernard, the first touchdown that he had, I was really upset with the defense on. So you line up and Ellis Robinson, which I think he would probably tell you that he did not have his best game. Um, Ellis Robinson walked down and was looked like he was trying to play press coverage, didn't get a single hand on the receiver. He ran right by him. It was like the most easy touchdown. Like just got absolutely burned off the line. So what I'd like to see moving forward is like we talk about like how do you fix these things? Like when we have press coverage, get your hands on. I think Kirby even mentioned it. Get your hands on guys.
Yeah,
Like you can't just let someone just run unimpeded when you're sitting at a single high safety on man-to-man coverage, and you just let a guy run right by you on a slant on the goal line. Like if you're gonna play press, you gotta get there.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, shoot, just take the INT or not the INT, the PI. You take the PI, which by the way,
Right.
I think this is one of our more penalized games. We had six penalties for 68 yards. They had four penalties for 16 yards.
Mm, yeah. One was a hold on our last offensive drive. We were able to overcome it. But yeah, yeah. It's frustrating, and it's like I said earlier. It's one of those things where like we've talked about you don't really have the soul crushing regular season loss. Like that doesn't really exist anymore as far as actually ruining your season. So that's the kind of like silver lining, like we kind of open with. We lost to these guys, similar stage of the season last year, didn't end up really mattering. And that could very well be the case again here. It's just
Just
frustrating.
win,
Was like, yeah, yeah.
just win,
It's just
baby.
this one only stings for the narratives, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, of
I
course it was
mean,
them. Of course they ended our another one of our streaks. Like it's just like,
yeah.
and that's back to the show me thing. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like the way the way our players are coached against this team seems to be different than other teams. And I don't know, maybe that's just because we lose to them and that's like sour grapes or something, but it just doesn't feel, something tends to feel off while we're playing them. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. And I think, and I know Kirby,
19 third downs.
yeah, dude. And Kirby got asked it in the post game press conference, like, how do you feel that your record is now whatever it is, 1-7 against Alabama? And I mean, he said he has to give a coach speak answer, like he can't answer that seriously, but he was like, I don't think about these things or whatever. But like, that's not gonna
What's
go
everybody
that
else's record?
right, right, right. Well, but what's your record against everybody else? Is my counter to that. I don't know. Thought it was a Saban problem. 0-2, Kirby being 0-2 against Kalen DeBoer is that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is a tough pill to swallow, but you know what, Jim? Like at some point, we got to get over it, man. We just got to get over it and move on.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm ready to move on. I watched the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter was just absolutely not it. It ain't it. And anybody that's coming in saying like looking at Gunner's numbers, I mean he's 65%, which is kind of what he's been, roughly all season long. Um
He also,
130
I mean,
130 yards.
he'd have 50 more yards passing and another touchdown too, if not
Yeah.
for one play. So
The drop is a problem. I think that there are a couple of other plays here and there where we should have had a reception or so. Um, you know, everything went wrong
yeah.
in this game for us, offensively, defensively. The other thing that I think you and I we haven't really touched on it on this episode, but like our turnover margin right now is probably one of the worst. I think it's ever been. Like you always had a turnover. Like you could always count on us to get an interception, to get a fumble, to get something, but we continue to fumble the ball, which is crazy to me because last year it was effing interceptions that killed us last year.
Yeah.
We were throwing interceptions like it was our job last year, and this year it's like we can't hold on to the ball. And to his credit, like Gunner's been great. Like we can criticize him, some of the decisions that he's made. I know that I'm not the only person that looks at those kinds of things. If you want to look at it, go check out the Film Guy Network. Um, I haven't seen Graham's 12 things yet or anything yet like that, but Gunner left points on the field 100%, but he did enough to win the game. Like the issue wasn't on Gunner.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
People saying that Gunner's not it, he can't be the guy. Like I don't think that that's okay. When you have guys that are running off 6.9 yards per rush in totality on the running game, like you stick to it. Like they couldn't stop us. I mean, there's an argument to be made that maybe we shouldn't have thrown the ball at all.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, Bowens was like 11 yards a carry on the game. So yeah, he's got to be running back one. I think the only thing, like, I know we haven't like touched on it because I don't want to harp on Taylor. I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him. I know Kirby was kind of like the first one to go over to him and pat him on the back. He's gonna do great things. I think what's again like on the whole coaching aspect, like what's frustrating for me is that the first time we put him in that situation to catch a deep ball is against Alabama. Like, you know, like I don't understand. We had Marshall, we had Austin P. I wish we would have gotten him some
I mean, you
more
say that, but
game
then
reps on deep balls before this.
I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem telling kids that were five-star recruits coming out of high school to go and make a play. I mean, shoot. I
Yeah,
mean, Ryan, we could say the same thing about Ryan Williams last year when he got called upon to just catch a Hail Mary, basically. You could have said the same thing about London Humphreys, catching the Tennessee catch
you
out of
can't
it.
though. You can't. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna push back on that. You can't say that because they had done it in other games before. We've
Yeah,
never
but in this
done that.
situation though.
I guess, but like he's never had a downfield rep. I've never seen anything thrown to him in a game
Yeah,
before
he's been thrown
yesterday.
to.
No, that wasn't a swing pass. Like we've been throwing him to him early in some games on like swing passes. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
I don't know. I can't really say that. I mean, people were saying that Branch didn't ever get targeted downfield, and you and I were watching that. Like, well, that's not true. He got
Right.
targeted. He got targeted a ton of times downfield.
Yeah. I will say, dude, let's talk about something positive really quick. the catch he made on our last drive, we had like a 3rd and 11, and I mean Gunner threw a rope to him. He caught it and then got like pinball between three defenders and hung on, which is
It,
impressive. Like
it
that
felt
was a
like he
heck of a play.
jumped. It felt like he jumped 12 feet in the air.
Yeah, yeah. So he's good. I mean, he's good.
Like
I think
maybe we should rely on him to make some of those catches.
yeah. It was. I will also say it was nice to see the unofficial official receiver Dylan Bell have that nice end around. That was pretty sweet.
Man,
I feel like
just
we
trying
gotta
a little bit more juice.
keep getting him involved. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what a guy like Zachariah Branch on your team does for you. He created some misdirection for us because everybody thought that he was going to get the ball.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I saw somewhere that someone did some analysis on that. They called it an orbit, like an orbit reverse or something like that.
Hmm.
I thought it sounded like it had like a really cool play call on it. I don't know what Georgia calls it, but it was like the orbit. It was like an orbit reverse, something like that.
It was a good play. It was a good play.
Yeah.
Oh, oh well. Well, I guess we'll just go back to the at the end of the day in today's college football. You're not. We're. I think the days of the undefeated team are kind of over anyway. In this era, all of our goals are still in front of us. All that stuff. Um, and I'm sure there'll be some self scouting. I'm sure going to learn a ton from reviewing the film of this game and just move forward.
We very easily could see those guys again.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. True statement. Um, you know what?
Anything else?
Only other thing I was gonna say, shout out Coach Trillbill for getting us, dude. I'm pretty sure we got the over under results like from like when we were still in the car Saturday night, like on the way back to my parents' house. Uh, you took the lead back, John, with a 500 performance. You went 4-4. I went 3-5. So you now have a 1 pick lead in coaches over unders.
Amazing.
I think that was the only thing I'd forgotten.
Thanks for doing that, Coach. I think that we were way off on the number of players with receptions. That was definitely one thing that we were off on because I was going back and like taking a look at that.
Yeah, it was
We
definitely
should
under.
we should have done it for rushing, it seems like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Um,
Um
I don't know. We talked about the sound. I don't know if we another thing. I will say, like, crowd was electric. It was like super loud, like from the jump. It was insanely loud. Um, and I don't know, like, I don't know if the DJ listens to my God a podcast, but we even had a K-pop Demon Hunters moment during the game. So
Indeed
there
we
was that too.
did. Yeah, that was great. Having them having them in. Brett Thorson with another great punting performance. He dropped three inside the 20. I wish that he got a little bit more leg on some of them, but um, can't really complain about his performance.
Yeah, no zero. It was another zero punt return game. They didn't return any
Yep,
of his punts.
no punt returns. Yeah,
Hmm. Oh well.
I got nothing else, Jim. I got nothing else in me. I've given her all she's got, Captain.
Understandable. Understandable.
We
Well,
have all of our goals are still ahead of us, and we still have Kirby Smart at the helm. He's paid a lot of money to figure this stuff out, and he's really excited. And gosh darn it, I'm gonna be excited as well. So we've got everything left in front of us to go, and so let's just go out and just win the next one, and just win, baby,
I'm with you.
and go dogs.
Go dogs.